So, my friends, let's start with the Avdiivka direction. The occupiers here have regrouped and resumed their assault on Avdiivka and Stepovem in the areas of Severne and Keramik. There is also a significant amount of shelling ongoing. However, over the past day, the front line remains unchanged, and the occupiers haven't achieved any success. In fact, in the Pervomaisky area, the Russians have confirmed that the Ukrainian forces successfully conducted a counterattack and even occupied some Russian positions. The approximate advance of the Ukrainian forces was about 700 meters, but it's unknown whether they will be able to hold these positions, and this information hasn't been officially confirmed yet. This situation suggests that the Russians are attempting to advance through sheer numbers but are incurring losses and not achieving success. The Ukrainian forces, on the other hand, are focusing on quality, and that's why they are successfully holding their defense. We are waiting to see how the situation unfolds. So, it remains highly complex, as all attacks need to be repelled and the gray area has significantly expanded. The occupiers may advance up to 4.5 kilometers, but are unable to secure their positions. All roads leading to Avdiivka are under Russian fire control, making it challenging to move around. Furthermore, it's been almost a week of Russian offensive, and yet no town has been completely captured, and the front line remains unchanged. Despite this, propaganda continues to tell the Russians that the Ukrainian forces are retreating from their positions. Just listen to this.
Важнейший пункт дислокации ВСУ. Оттуда они ежедневно обстреливают Донецк. Город уже в полукольце. На севере российские войска дошли до Бердычей. На юге через село Водяное двинулись в сторону Северного, отрезая пути снабжения украинской армии. Вокруг угольные терриконы, окружающие Авдеевку крепостной стеной. А в них вот такие бетонные укрепления. И часть из них уже перешла под российский контроль. ВСУ бегут.
Where are they retreating to? It's not clear. Perhaps they're heading to confront the Russians near Donetsk? Okay. Further south, in Marinka, battles are taking place outside the city limits, and here too the Ukrainian forces are successful. They are conducting counterattacks to keep the occupiers on their toes, and have noted that battles are occurring on the occupied territory, approximately 300 meters from the far front line. In general, the Russian counteroffensive doesn't seem to be going as planned. While shelling continues in Novomikhailivka, Krasnohorivka and Pobeda village, we are waiting to see how events will develop here. Okay, before we continue, I'd like to ask you to share this video on social media and watch it to the end. It greatly helps promote my channel. Thank you. In the Bakhmut direction, after a day of rest, the occupiers have brought in new reserves and initiated offensive actions towards Avdiivka and Ukrainian forces positions in the Klishchiivka area. There is also a significant amount of shelling. Over the past day, there have been no significant changes in the front line, and the Ukrainian forces haven't launched new assault operations holding their defensive positions. The Russians are aware that the situation there is quite unfavorable.
In the Bakhmut direction, the Russian armed forces once again tried to regain the lost positions in Avdiivka and Klishchiivka. Despite the support of the artillery, they did not succeed. Heights for the Apu. Russian troops shelled Ukrainian units in Dyliivka, Belaya Gora, Alexander Shultina, Ivanovsky, Grigorov K, Orahovo Vasilievka, Vasyakhovka, Razdolovka, Spornoye, Verkhnekamenskaya and Siversk. Means of long-range destruction of the armed forces of Ukraine work on the positions of the armed forces of the Russian Federation in Ozaryanovka, Kurdumov-Ka, Bakhmut, Yagodny, Burkovka, Dubovo-Vasilyevka, Krasnopolovka and Yakovlevka.
In the Siversk direction, shelling continues, and yesterday evening there was an increase in the number of shells fired by the occupiers on Siversk and other towns near the front. However, there are no ongoing attacks at the moment. The situation in the Crimea area is becoming more complicated as the occupiers attempt to push the Ukrainian armed forces across the river. They tried to do this a few months ago without success, and now they're attempting to repeat the unsuccessful operation. Offensive actions are taking place in the Torsky area to reach Zaporizhzhia and block withdrawal routes. On the other hand, there is an offensive in the Makiivka area, and villages around Nevsky are heavily shelled. The situation here is quite complex, as even a small advance by the Russians could lead to our units being trapped near the river. Crossing would be very difficult due to the damaged bridges. In the Svatovo area, there is a small amount of shelling, but no offensive actions are being conducted and the situation remains unchanged. In the Kupiansk direction, the occupiers once again increased the number of troops and equipment advancing in the Sinkiivka and Yahidne areas yesterday evening. The battles there are the toughest for the Russians, with tank support, artillery, aviation and drones. However, the Ukrainian armed forces continue to repel all attacks and the front line remains unchanged. Moreover, there is a significant amount of shelling along the front line, which complicates their defense. Okay, now let's move to the southern directions. In the Vuhledar direction, the occupiers are heavily shelling all the towns located in the near-front zone. Offensive actions have also resumed in the Priutny area, taking place in the gray zone, but the occupiers have yet to achieve any success. However, in this direction, an increase in the number of attacks is expected. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, the Russians continue to intensify their attacks towards Robotyne and shell the village. It appears that they want to regain control of Robotyne to complicate the situation for the Ukrainian counteroffensive. They understand that the Ukrainian armed forces have started expanding their controlled territory near the village of Kopany, and they attempting to prevent this by entering Robotyne. However, the Ukrainian armed forces have successfully repelled all attacks so far, even though the occupiers are using all available resources in this direction, including aviation, artillery, and tanks. As a result, the battles continue, but there is no indication of the Ukrainian armed forces advancing towards Bakhmut at this point, so we will wait. In the Kherson direction, the occupiers are actively shelling Kherson and the nearby villages, as well as the area of Kozatske. However, there have been no changes along the front line and no offensive actions are being reported. Additionally, Biden stated that the United States can provide assistance to both Ukraine and Israel while still safeguarding its own security interests.
Are you sure that you want to run again?
Yes, because I'm sure, look, when I ran, I said the world's at an inflection point. The world's changing, but we have an opportunity to make it. So imagine if we were able to succeed in getting the Middle East put in place where we have normalization of relations. I think we can do that. Imagine what happens if we, in fact, unite all of Europe and Putin is finally put down where he cannot cause the kind of trouble he's been causing. We have enormous opportunities.
That's all from me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.